Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So we're continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 5, text 12 onwards. We'll do today. Nashkarmyam api achyut bhava varjitam nashobhate jnanam alam niranjanam kutah punah shashvat bhadram ishvare nacharpitam karma yadapi akaranam. Knowledge of self-realization, even though free from material affinity, does not look well if devoid of a conception of the infallible God. What then is the use of fruitive activities which are naturally painful from the very beginning and transient by nature, if they are not utilized for the devotional service of the Lord? So, Sud Goswami is, here Narada Muni is talking to Vyasa. So Narada Muni is telling the knowledge of self-realization, although it is free from all material affinity or material attachments, does not look well if devoid of a conception of the infallible God. Means he's talking about the impersonalist knowledge, the philosophy that impersonalists follow, that there is no God, or God is light, God is void, God is zero, whatever, or light is God, whatever they believe in. So knowledge of realization, self-realization does not look well if devoid of a conception of infallible God. What then is the use of fruitive activities, the karma kanda, which are naturally painful from the beginning and transient by nature, if they are not utilized for the devotion service of the Lord? So basically, Narada Muni is trying to tell Vyasa that you have spoken, you have written all about karma kanda and jnana kanda. Jnana kanda basically refers to the impersonal knowledge. So they are not very good topics or topics that will satisfy you. So Prabhupada is writing, as referred to above, not only ordinary literatures devoid of the transcendental glorification of the Lord are condemned, but also Vedic literatures and speculations on the subject of impersonal Brahman when they are devoid of devotional service. So according to Narada Muni, even the subjects of impersonal Brahman, because they are devoid of devotional service, they are not very good topics to talk about. Topics are condemned. When speculation on the impersonal Brahman is condemned on the above ground, then what to speak of ordinary fruitive work which is not meant to fulfill the aim of devotional service? So indirectly, Narada Muni is kind of chastising Vyasa Dev. Why did you waste so much time in describing all this? And that's why you're not satisfied. Fruitive work in which almost all people in general are engaged is always painful, either in the beginning or at the end. Why is it painful, the fruitive work, the karma kanda activities? Because to achieve some material result in this material world, we have to do lots of effort. We have to put in lots of effort. So it's very painful. It's not somebody enjoys doing it. But the only hope we have is, oh, I'll get this much money, I'll get this much power or position or whatever. But once we get that, then again, either we'll have some envious people who are ready to take it away, or we are afraid I might lose it sometime, or at the end means at the time of death, if nobody else, then Krishna takes it away. He says in Bhagavad Gita, Mrityu Sarvarashcham. So materially, anything we attain, it's painful in the beginning and painful at the end also. There's no real pleasure. Only pleasure that we have in the material world is we think, or I have this much money, I have this much property, I have that many assets. I have so many people following me. Just it gives a satisfaction to the self. That's about it. Just to understand it better, suppose somebody has a very fine Mercedes car, or even better than that, some other car. How much time do you think he spends in the car? It's his driver who spends most time in the car than the person himself. And when if he spends the time in the car, because he always thinking of I have to make the payments, or if he has bought it cash or whatever, then I have to worry. He has to worry about the maintenance of the car. If the car is somebody puts any scratch on it, he has to worry. Driver is not at all worried about all these things. He knows the Malik will pay for it. And suppose somebody has a big mansion to live in. How much time he spends living in that mansion? Hardly any. Maybe a whole day he is working outside. At night he comes and just looks at the whole mansion, eats and goes to sleep. It just gives satisfaction to the heart. Oh, I have a big mansion. I have a big car. I have a big bank balance. Big bank balance is in the bank. Just some figures are there. That's about it. How much we really enjoy that money? Hardly any. And on top of it, there is always fear that some envious person will take it away, will try to protect those assets. Some, if not envious person, the government will take it away. That there'll be so many taxes. And even then, if suppose we still protected it and somebody didn't take it away, at the time of death, the Krishna will definitely take it away. Mrityu sarvarascham. So the fruitive activities are painful from the beginning to the end. Knowledge of impersonal Brahman, it doesn't satisfy the soul. Why? The soul is made of Sat, Chit and Ananda. Same thing that Krishna is made of, Sat, Chit and Ananda. Sat means eternal, Chit means knowledge, Ananda means bliss. In impersonal Brahman, Brahman is effulgence of the body of Krishna. It is an aspect of Krishna. In impersonal Brahman, there is Sat, because it is eternal. There is Chit, knowledge, but it doesn't have full knowledge, because knowledge of the absolute, knowledge of the pastimes of Krishna is not there. And Ananda, some Ananda is there, bliss is there. The bliss is that if somebody reaches that Brahm Jyoti, he will not fall down in the material world, so he doesn't have to experience the pains of the material world. But the real bliss of being engaged in the service of Krishna, real bliss of being in the pastimes of Krishna, in those sweet, loving pastimes, is not there. So Sat is there, eternal, some knowledge is there, some Ananda is there. But still, it doesn't give the full pleasure to the soul, because ultimate bliss is not there. Ultimate bliss is when we are engaged in loving relationship with Krishna. Just like even in the material world, what is the topmost pleasure? Topmost pleasure is not when somebody goes and sits alone in his place. Topmost pleasure is when he has a relationship with somebody, a loving relationship, when he can talk to somebody, when he can express his sentiments to somebody lovingly. That is the topmost bliss, even in the material world. For example, if in the material world, if somebody says, okay, you have this whole city of Delhi is yours from today on. Everything, all the properties, all the money, everything that's in Delhi is yours. But there is nobody for you who you can talk to. Nobody. Not even an animal. Not even a bird. Forget about human being. Will the person be happy? Even in this material world, we cannot think of being happy without having a relationship. And if that person who who got everything, the whole property, everything, and he is sitting there alone. Yeah, okay, he has the biggest mansion, he has all the cars in Delhi, it says, but what to do with it? And if by chance he finds a simple butterfly, he would love to have talk with that butterfly. He would love to even play with that butterfly because he wants some relationship. So the relationship, and that to loving relationship, is the most important aspect of life in the material world. What to speak of in the spiritual world? So the fruitive work or the knowledge of the impersonal Brahman, it does not and it cannot give pleasure to the self as much as, not even as much as, there's no comparison. It's Rupa Goswami in one place says, the pleasure that one attains in devotional service of the Lord is if it is like an ocean, and the pleasure one attains in the impersonal Brahman realization of fruitive work is like a drop in a desert. So it's a huge difference. There is no comparison at all. So this is what Narada Muni is telling Vyasa Dev, that fruitive work or the knowledge of the impersonal Brahman, it does not satisfy the self. It will not satisfy the self. अथो महाभाग भवान मोगद्रे श्रुचिश्रवा सत्यरतो धृतः उतु उरु क्रमस्याखिल बंध मुक्तये समाधि नानुस्मर तद विचेष्टितम. O Vyasadeva, your vision is completely perfect. Your good fame is spotless. You're firm in vow and situated in truthfulness. And thus you can think of the pastimes of the Lord in trance for the liberation of the people in general from all material bondage. So these are the qualifications of Vyasadeva. He's saying, Narada Muni is saying, your vision is completely perfect. It doesn't mean he has a 20/20 vision. That doesn't mean that. Because he could see perfectly who is who, what is what. He could differentiate properly. And he was not attached. Your good fame is spotless. You're firm in vows and situated in truthfulness. So these are the qualifications one needs to be able to have Narada, so you can think over it, to be able to realize or to see the pastimes of the Lord. Prabhupada gave long purport to these words. People in general have a taste for literatures by instinct. They want to hear and read from the authorities something about the unknown, but the taste is exploited by unfortunate literatures which are full of subject matters for satisfaction of the material senses. But the real literature that can help, that can really satisfy a person is a spiritual literature, and especially the literature about the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. In fact, there's a communication, or there was some kind of exchange that happened between Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj and somebody in Calcutta. Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj had ordered his disciples to start producing a magazine about the pastime, about the spiritual world. So this person, he said, what is it? How much, why you want to produce this magazine once a month? How many pastimes are there? What are the descriptions of spiritual world? So Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj told him, see, we are in Calcutta. Calcutta is just a small city compared to the whole world. And in Calcutta, how many newspapers are there every day they publish? Well, at that time, it might be 3 or 4 newspapers. Now it has grown more, obviously. So 3 or 4 newspapers to report activities of Calcutta every day. And those newspapers people buy in the morning, and by the end of the day, they are as good as trash. There's nothing useful. But the pastimes or the activities of the Lord in the spiritual world, so many. Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj said, we can publish a newspaper, in fact, every second of the day. There's so many pastimes. Just imagine if every second a newspaper is coming out. Of course, not on paper, even if on our smartphones, if you're getting update from the spiritual world every second. Okay, this is what Krishna is doing. This is what Radharani is doing. This is what his cowherd boys are doing. Madhuvangal is doing. This is what Stok Krishna is doing. This is what Balram is doing. This is what Shridham is doing. And Radharani Sakhis, what are they doing? Just imagine how wonderful that would be. But Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj said the only problem is that there's no lack of or dearth of news from the spiritual world. Only thing lacking in the world is a Krishna consciousness. That's all. And this is what Prabhupada is writing. People want to read, people want to hear about something unknown. But then, because they don't have the right access, they get busy with reading mundane literature and they think this is it. This is a life. This gives them the complete pleasure. It doesn't. And in the couple of verses previous to that, it is said that that literature is kind of place of pilgrimage for the crows only, because it's like garbage. In the last paragraph of this purport, Prabhupada is writing, it's a long purport, so I don't want to go through the whole thing. The Bhagavad Gita is a spoken message of the Lord himself, recorded by Vyasa Dev. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is a transcendental narration of the activities of the same Lord Krishna, which alone can satisfy the hankering desires of the living being for eternal peace and liberation from miseries. Srimad Bhagavatam is therefore meant for all the living beings all over the universe for total liberation from all kinds of material bondage. Such transcendental narrations of the pastimes of the Lord can be described only by liberated souls like Vyasa Dev and his bona fide representatives who are completely immersed in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Only to such devotees do the pastimes of the Lord and their transcendental nature become automatically manifest by dint of devotional service. So Krishna's pastimes and the transcendental nature of those pastimes are revealed to a person who is engaged in devotional service. So they are revealed by the mercy of Krishna to the person who is already purified, who can see, understand, who is qualified to see, look at those pastimes. So this is how it goes. We have to make ourselves qualified. We have to be entitled so that pastimes can be revealed to us. So we keep on working on a Vedi Bhakti, on the following the rules and regulations and our Bhakti. And then slowly, we become qualified, we become pure enough that Krishna's pastimes can be revealed. Just like every morning we sing in Guru Ashtakam, that Madhurya Leela, Shri Radhika Madhavayor Apara, Madhurya Leela, Guna Rupa Nam Nam. See, everything is actually hidden in the holy name of Krishna. His Leela, his Guna, his Rup, Krishna, everything is hidden. So by our chanting it properly, by our engaging in devotional service properly, his Rup, his Leela, his Nam, his everything will be revealed. His relationship with us, everything will start getting revealed to us. Slowly. More we are entitled, more we are qualified, more we are eligible, more it will be revealed to us. So this is bhakti. We don't have to force ourselves to think of those pastimes. We don't have to force ourselves or imagine some pastimes, imagine the form of Krishna. No, it will be revealed when we are ready. No one else can either know or describe the acts of the Lord, even if they speculate on the subject for many, many years. The descriptions of the Bhagavatam are so precise and accurate that whatever has been predicted in this great literature about 5,000 years ago is now exactly happening. Therefore, the vision of the author comprehends past, present, and future. Such liberated persons as Vyasa Dev are perfect not only by the power of vision and wisdom, but also in oral reception, in thinking, feeling, and all other sense activities. A liberated person possesses perfect senses, and with perfect senses only can one serve the sense proprietor Rishikesh, the Sri Krishna, the personality of God. So this is the qualities of Vyasadeva. Many times it has happened. People ask that when Sri Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjun in battlefield, Vyasadeva wasn't there and Arjun wasn't writing it down. So who wrote it down? Well, here we see the qualities of Vyasadeva. Narada Muni is explaining. He's a perfect vision. He can comprehend past, present, and future. He was sitting in his ashram in Badrinath and he heard everything and he wrote down. Although he wasn't there in Kurukshetra, but he wrote down everything, whatever Krishna was speaking. He is perfect in oral reception. Prabhupada is writing that. So this is Vyasadeva. Everything is perfect about him. So if Vyasadeva can give divine eyes to Sanjay, the charioteer of Dhritarashtra, who could sit in Hastinapur and see everything that is happening in Kurukshetra and hear everything that is happening in Kurukshetra and give a light commentary to Dhritarashtra. So don't we think Vyasadeva would have those divine senses that he could sit in Badrika Ashram and he still could listen, still could hear what Krishna is speaking to Arjuna? Of course he could. But those who are atheists, those who don't have faith in it, they will still not believe it. But it doesn't matter. It's not for them anyway. So we'll stop here. It's 8:56. See anybody has any question or comment.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, you said that it was the Vyasadeva who gave the vision to Sanjay to narrate the story of Mahabharata? Or it was the Krishna himself who gave him?
No. Krishna gave divine eyes to Arjun to see the universal form.
Acha, universal form. Oh, it was the Vyasadeva who gave this power to him.
Power to Sanjay, yes.
And I have read it on that the narration of the Mahabharata Yudh to Dhritarashtra was started on the 9th day. Is it correct? By Sanjay?
On 10th day.
10th day.
Okay. Because Sanjay had gone to the war. And 9th day, Arjun put Bhishma down on the bed of arrows.
Okay. And then he started narrating.
Then Sanjay came back from war to Hastinapur. He said, then he understood there's no way Kauravas can win. So from 10th day, he described the whole Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
And then he described what happened in the war. And then he told him, Bhishma Pitama is already on the bed of arrows. And then he gave the live commentary. Because the very first words of Bhagavad Gita, Dhritarashtra asking, "O Sanjay, my sons and sons of Pandav, they've assembled in this Kurukshetra. What did they do?" He did not ask, "What are they doing?" So it had already happened in the past. What did they do? He asked. So Mahabharata has lots of twists and politics and this and that. And that's why people like it. In Kali Yuga, people love that story. Can't hear you. Your mic is off. Yes, Prabhu.
I said the Krishna also plays tricks on how to kill those people, no? Because he tells Arjuna that and how this guy will be killed, how this guy will be killed. Not a fair war.
Krishna, but whatever Krishna does, and that is dharma. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranita. Krishna is bent at 3 places, no? So he's not straightforward. So are his activities.
तिरछे खड़े हो नट पर, तिरछा है मुकुट सिर पर.
Yep. This is what actually one poet wrote about Krishna. He said, Krishna, you are bent at three places. You're not straight. And somehow my heart is also very crooked. Like people say, no, generally people, their heart is crooked. I'm also not a straightforward person. My heart is also crooked. But when you come in the heart, you will fit exactly like a jigsaw puzzle. You'll fit exactly in my heart. So please stay in my heart. And then you cannot get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, those are devotees' special bhav for Krishna.
Special bhav.
Yeah.
True, Prabhuji.
So,
thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other question or comment? So, I guess everybody have a wonderful day thinking about Krishna, about his threefold bended form. Have a wonderful day. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare